today's lecture we will discuss about outbreeding devices. What do you mean by inbreeding and outbreeding? If the pollen grains come and land on the stigma of the same flower, that is called self-pollination, which is also called inbreeding. If the pollen grains of one flower go and fall on the stigma of another flower of another plant, that is called cross-pollination. That is called as outbreeding in terms of plants. Okay. So, when we do pollination, so we are talking about two conditions. In one condition, stigma style ovary, these are the stamens, petal and sepal. Children, now the pollen grains from the stigma, if they come and land on the pistil of the same flower. If the pollen grains are coming and landing on the same flower, what is this called? Self-pollination, right? Now, it is also called inbreeding. It is also called inbreeding. Now, what is outbreeding then? Our today's topic is outbreeding devices. Outbreeding means the stamens will release pollen grains. The pollen grains of one flower will go and land on the another flower. So, I am drawing two flowers because we need two flowers for cross pollination to happen. So, I am drawing two flowers here. Now, if the pollen grains from this plant come and fall on this stigma, and the pollen grains of this flower, if they come and fall on this stigma, these pollens are going on to the another flower and these pollens are coming on to this flower. So, this is called as cross pollination. What is this called? Cross pollination, which is also called outbreeding. Now, if we see the nature, in nature, which type of flowers are there means, in nature, usually bisexual flowers will be there. In nature, bisexual flowers are more common. What do you mean by bisexual flower? Both the male reproductive organ and the female reproductive organ are on the same flower. If the male reproductive organ and the female reproductive organ are on the same flower, then we call it as a bisexual flower. It is also called hermaphrodite. It is also called hermaphrodite. Now, if the stamen, that means stamen and pistil are close to each other. What do you mean by bisexual flower? Stamen and pistil on same flower, right? Stamen and pistil on the same flower, and they are near to each other. When they are near to each other, now there are more chances for self-pollination. When the stamen and pistil are on the same flower and are close to each other, and if they are close to each other, it might lead to self-pollination. It might lead to self-pollination, means it might lead to inbreeding. But what happens in inbreeding means continuously self-pollination is happening or inbreeding is happening. It will lead to inbreeding depression. Continuous self-pollination leads to inbreeding depression. Continuous self-pollination. Continuous self-pollination leads to inbreeding depression. Now, I will just give a small example to understand what is inbreeding depression. Every day if you are eating the similar type of food, so after few days we want change, we want variation. We don't want that monotony, the same recipe morning, evening and night, right? So, in the same manner, since the genes are the same, again, if they are going for self-pollination or inbreeding, it leads to inbreeding depression. And what reproduction are you talking about? Flower is a sexual reproductive organ. Flower participate in sexual reproduction because gametes are made, male gametes and female gametes. So sexual reproduction wants variations, wants recombinations. But if the genes are the same, from where do we get variations and recombinations? So it's going to depression, inbreeding depression. Now that is why the plants, they go with outbreeding devices. Many plants, they discourage self-pollination. Even though there is possibility of self-pollination, many plants discourage self-pollination. So means they have certain devices to discourage self-pollination and to encourage cross-pollination. All those devices which will discourage self-pollination and which will encourage cross-pollination together are called as outbreeding devices, which are also called as contrivances for cross-pollination, adaptations towards cross-pollination. Why it can't do self-pollination? You have seen here. Self-pollination is a very easy task. You have to lift the pollen grain from here, drop it here. It's a very easy task, but then it becomes monotony, no recombinations, no variations. It leads to inbreeding depression. So that's why so many plants are there which develop certain tools and devices to discourage self-pollination and to encourage cross-pollination, which are collectively called as outbreeding devices. Take a screenshot. We will see how many types are there. Right. So now let us see what are the devices which come under outbreeding devices, which come under contrivances for cross-pollination. Right. So there are 6 devices which comes under contrivances for cross-pollination. First, we'll make it like a flow chart, then we will see one by one. So I am telling that there are 6 devices. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. There are 6 devices which come under outbreeding devices. The first one is called as dichogamy. The first technique is dichogamy. The second one is called as hercogamy. First technique, which is outbreeding, I'll explain one by one. We are just making a flow chart. The first one is called dichogamy. Second one is called hercogamy. Third one is called as self-incompatibility is the third technique. And the fourth technique will be dicliny. The fourth technique will be dicliny. Then the fifth technique will be prepotency. And the last technique will be heterostyly. So children, how many outbreeding devices are there? 6 types of outbreeding devices are there. One is dichogamy, second one is hercogamy, third one is self-incompatibility, and the fourth one is dicliny. I'll write with black only. These 4 which I am writing with black are very much there in NCERT. The next 2 we are reading as extra points. So there are 6 techniques which come under outbreeding devices. Now, what do you mean by dichogamy? Dichogamy means gametes, right? Male gamete is pollen grain, female gamete is egg, which is inside the ovary and ovule. Now, the gametes will not fertilize at the same time. That is the meaning of dichogamy. Means the pollen release and the stigma receptivity are not synchronized. So, what can we write for dichogamy? For dichogamy, we are telling the pollen release and the stigma receptivity are not synchronized. They are not synchronized. Okay. So the pollen release and the stigma receptivity are not synchronized. Means by the time the anther is releasing the pollen grain, the gynoecium did not mature yet. So it can't receive the pollen grains. Then even though they are close to each other, self-pollination cannot happen. The pollen grain should go and do pollination for another flower. That is called dichogamy. Now in dichogamy, so we have two types. In dichogamy, we have two types. If the androecium matures first, that's called protandry. If the gynoecium matures first, then that is called as protogyny. So, what is protandry? In protandry, androecium will mature first. What is androecium? Stamen, right? So, androecium will mature first. If androecium is maturing first, it releases the pollen grains. By that time, the stigma is not matured. It is not able to receive the pollen grains. So, that is called protandry. Then what is protogyny? Gynoecium will mature first here. Gynoecium matures first. Then that is called as protogyny. Now, we need to take examples also for protandry and for protogyny. Sunflower is an example for protandry. And salvia also, children. Sunflower and salvia are examples of protandry where the pollen grains will be released much early. Solanum, datura are examples of protogyny where gynoecium will mature early. So, Solanum we can tell, datura, colchicum we can go, mirabilis, colchicum we can go, mirabilis and gloriosa also. All these are the examples of protogyny where gynoecium matures first. By the time the pollens are not ready, they are not released. So, this comes under first outbreeding device. So, androecium is maturing first, gynoecium is not ready to receive it. Gynoecium is maturing first, pollen grains are not yet released. So, then it has to go with cross pollination only. This is our first technique. Did you understand? Now, second one is called as hercogamy. Now, let us write about what is hercogamy. What is hercogamy? See, the scientific terms, if you try to understand them, you will get the meaning out of them. Dichogamy, it means that the gametes are matured at the separate times. They are released at separate times. In the same manner, hercogamy, herco means different. Anther and the stigma are placed either in different directions or in different positions. So, herco means different. So, hercogamy means anthers and stigma. Stigma is part of the pistil where the pollen grains will come and land. The anthers and stigmas are, they are either placed differently, they are placed at different positions or different directions, or they are placed in different directions. So, that is called as hercogamy. For example, if we take hibiscus, in hibiscus, right? So, pentacarpal tree 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now, that is gynoecium. And where is androecium, children? Here. Now, see, are they near to each other? Androecium is here. So, this is the male organ and this is the female organ. They are at different heights, huh? Then that is called as they are in different positions. Example for this one is hibiscus, which I drawed, means China rose. So, then it can go with cross pollination only. Now, next one is different directions. If you take another plant where the stigma will be this side and the stigma is facing this direction, anthers are facing this direction. The stigma is facing this direction, anther is facing different direction. So, then that is called as another one, hercogamy. Example for this is gloriosa. So, the first outbreeding device is dichogamy, where androecium matures first, protandry. If gynoecium matures first, protogyny. Second outbreeding device is hercogamy. In hercogamy, either stigma and anther are positioned at different heights or they are positioned in different directions. Examples for different heights is hibiscus. Example for different directions is gloriosa. So we finished 1 and 2. Take a screenshot, then we will talk about self-incompatibility. Right? Now shall we talk about the third one? What is the third type of outbreeding device? It is self-incompatibility. You can also call it as self-sterility. We can also call it as self-sterility. Means if the same pollen grains from the same flower, if they come and land on the stigma is not accepting it. So self-incompatibility, which is the third one, it is also called self-sterility. What do you mean by self-sterility? It is a genetic mechanism to prevent self-pollen grains from fertilizing the ovule. So what is self-sterility? It is a genetic mechanism. Means the genes are deciding here. It is a genetic mechanism which prevents self-pollens, same pollens, right? Which prevents self-pollens from fertilizing the ovules. So, how is it possible? Like, if the self-pollen comes and lands on it, for example, this is the stigma, style, ovary. These are the ovules. Now, this is the self-stamen. And this is a different color, means it is from another plant. So, it will not allow the self-stamen to grow and make a pollen tube. It has stopped it. Whereas, it will allow this one to form a pollen tube. This pollen tube is going inside and it can send the male gametes. So, this is called as self-sterility. So, means it inhibits the pollen tube growth. You are seeing here, it inhibits pollen tube growth of self-pollens. Self-pollens cannot grow whereas other pollens can grow. How is it possible? It is due to the presence of similar set of sterile genes. How is it possible? It is due to the presence of similar set of sterile genes. Where are the sterile genes present? Sterile genes present on the pollen and the stigma. For sterile genes we are telling. For example, this is stigma. If the stigma is having S1 sterile gene, then the pollen also will have S1 sterile gene. If the stigma has S3 sterile gene, then the pollen also has S3 sterile gene. So, they are identified with each other. That is also sterile, this is also sterile, then it will not allow it to grow. Whereas, if the stigma is having S1 and if the other pollen grain is having F1, fertile genes if it is having, so it will identify it as a new one and it permits it to grow inside. This is what is called self-incompatibility, self-sterility. So, it is a genetic mechanism. You are seeing these are the genes. It is a genetic mechanism which prevents self-pollens from fertilizing the ovule. It will not allow the self-pollens to make a pollen tube. So, how does it identify whether it is a self or non-self? Means there are similar type of sterile genes which are same to each other, then they will not accept it. If there is a new combination, yes, then certainly it will accept it. So, this is about self-incompatibility. Take a screenshot, then we will talk about the fourth one, which is called dicliny. Right? Understood the third type of outbreeding device, which is called self-incompatibility. Now, let us go with the fourth one. What is the fourth type? It is called dicliny. Amma, dicliny is also called unisexuality. So, dicliny is also called Unisexuality. What is dichliny means? It is a process of production of unisexual flowers. So, the process of production of unisexual flowers is called, what is it called? The process of production of unisexual flowers is called dichliny. The process of production of unisexual flowers is called dichliny. Now, what is meant by unisexual male flower called? Unisexual, this is the male symbol, right? Unisexual male flower is called staminate flower. Whereas the unisexual, we use this symbol for female. Unisexual female flower is called pistillate flower. So, if the male flowers and female flowers are present on the same plant, then that plant is called monoecious plant. If they are present on separate plants, then that is called dioecious plant. Means dichliny is of two types. One type is monoecious condition. The other one will be dioecious condition. Monoecious condition means if we take the plant, leaves I am drawing, right? Now, at the axis of the leaf, the pistillate flowers will be there. Corn, sweet corn I am drawing. At the axis we have female cob. This is female inflorescence. Female flowers are called, only female flowers are there. So, they are called pistillate flowers. And on the top it has male flowers. The male flowers are called as staminate flowers. So, this is stamen like. This is the male inflorescence. Now, male flowers are separate and female flowers are separate, but on the same plant, right? That is called monoecious plant. What plant did you draw? Maize is an example. Castor is an example for monoecious condition. Now, in this condition, like we can prevent self-pollination. Self-pollination means pollen grain from the same flower lands on the stigma of the same flower. That is self-pollination. Self-pollination can be prevented. Autogamy can be prevented, but geitonogamy is not prevented. What is geitonogamy? Geitonogamy means pollen grains from one flower to the pistil of another flower. That will happen, right? So, these pollen grains can come and land on this pistil. So, in monoecious condition, we can tell autogamy is prevented. Autogamy is prevented, but there is another thing called geitonogamy. Geitonogamy is not prevented. Now, what is geitonogamy? In geitonogamy, pollen grains from one plant will come and fall on the pistil of another flower. Pollen grains of one flower will come and fall on the pistil of another flower, but of the same plant. It is of the same plant. So, that is geitonogamy. It is happening here. So, in monoecious condition, only self-pollination, autogamy can be prevented, whereas geitonogamy cannot be prevented. Now, dioecious condition, if you have seen papaya plants, right? If you have seen papaya plants, male papaya tree is separate. It has very big leaves, papaya, right? So, this is male papaya plant and this is female papaya plant. In female papaya plant, female flowers, pistillate flowers will be there, right? So, let us draw them also. Here we have only staminate flowers, male flowers, and on the other plant, what is this called? This is called male plant and this is female plant. In female plant, only pistillate flowers will be there. So, pistillate flowers means this one, right? only pistillate flowers will be there. So the stamens from one flower of one plant to the pistil of another flower of another plant. So genes will not be the same. So it is 100% cross pollination. This is called dioecious condition. Examples for dioecious condition, we can take papaya. We can take papaya and we can take the other examples of mulberry, Vallisneria. These are the examples of dioecious plants. For monoecious, maize and castor are the examples. For dioecious conditions, papaya, mulberry, Vallisneria are the examples. So, we discussed dichogamy. Under dichogamy, we told like protandry is there, protogyny is there. Under hercogamy, we told different directions and we told different lengths. The third one is self-incompatibility, self-sterility. So, sterile genes, so it becomes sterile only. Under unisexuality, we are going with monoecious condition and dioecious condition. Monoecious condition, maize and castor are the examples. Dioecious condition, papaya, mulberry, Vallisneria are the examples. In dioecious condition, you can prevent both autogamy and geitonogamy. So, here we can write. So, dioecious condition prevents. It prevents both autogamy and geitonogamy. Only cross pollination, 100% cross pollination it goes with. So take a screenshot, then we will talk about the remaining two methods, prepotency and heterostyle also. Right, so we finished 4 methods under outbreeding devices. We are left with the last 2 methods. The 5th method is called as prepotency. What do you mean by prepotency? So, on the pistil, if self-pollen false and non-self-pollen false. Now, non-self-pollen, if it is growing faster, that is called as prepotency. So, the 5th technique is prepotency. What is prepotency? The pollen grains from another flower. The pollen grains from another flower can grow faster. They can grow faster when compared to self-pollens. Right. Obviously, then who will go and fuse with the egg? Another plant pollen only will go and fuse with the egg. So, this is called as prepotency. We see it in apple and grape plant. Examples for prepotency are, one is apple and other one is grape. So, means if we draw stigma, style and ovary and we are drawing the ovules. Now, this is a self pollen grain and this is a different pollen grain. Now, the different pollen grain is potent enough that it grows faster and it reaches the ovule faster. So, it has more chances of fertilizing. That is called prepotency. Take a screenshot. We will talk about the last one, heterostyle. Yes, the last one is heterostyle. In heterostyle, we can tell the anthers and stamens, the anthers and styles are positioned in different lengths. The 6th one is called as heterostyle. Again, in heterostyle, we have 2 types, diheterostyle and triheterostyle. Diheterostyle and triheterostyle. First of all, what is heterostyle? The anthers and the pistil are in different lengths. Heterostyle means anther means the male one and the pistil, the female one, are at different heights. Then that is called heterostyle. Under that again we have 2 types called diheterostyle and triheterostyle. So, So in diheterostyle, again we have two types called pinnide, thrummide. We have two types called pinnide and thrummide. In pinnide, long style and short stamens. What is pinnide condition? Here long style will be there, but short stamens. When long style and short stamens are there, can self-pollination occur? Long style they are telling. This is the long style. The stamens are short here itself. So this condition is called as pinnide, whereas thrummide is the opposite condition. So in thrummide, short style will be there. Stamens are long. Stamens are long. So short style will be there. The stamens are long, so they can be easily go with wind instead of landing down and falling on the same stigma. So this is another condition. So this is called diheterostyle. Example for this is jasmine and primrose, we can tell. So this condition example is jasmine and primrose. Primula, which is also called primrose. So we can find such type of condition where the anthers and the styles are positioned at different lengths. Coming to triheterostyle, there are three different conditions. Tri means three, right? There are three different conditions. So one condition we will see it like this. Short stamens, medium stamens, long style is one condition. The second condition will be short stamens, medium style and long stamens. Now the third condition will be short style, medium stamens, right? Medium stamens and long stamens. Yeah. Now on the same plant, three different patterns of flowers will be there. What is this plant then? Lethaerum. That triheterostyle example is Lethaerum. On the Lethaerum plant, so one flower will have this condition, second flower will have this condition, third flower will have this condition. So now if you check carefully, like this style can be pollinated by this stamen or by this stamen. So pollination among different flowers means it is cross pollination, and this style can be pollinated by this stamen or by this stamen, and this style can be pollinated by this stamen or by this stamen. So this indicates cross pollination only. This indicates cross pollination only. Here also, like see, this can pollinate this one, this can pollinate this one. So this is also very much cross pollination. So which is called as diheterostyle and triheterostyle. So children, we finished all the different devices which are covered under outbreeding devices. The first one, dichogamy. The second one, hercogamy. The third one, self-sterility. Fourth one, dicliny, which is called unisexuality. The fifth one, prepotency. And the sixth one, heterostyle. Take a screenshot. Then we will talk about the advantages of cross-pollination. Right? Now, let us talk about the advantages of cross-pollination. So, why are the plants taking this much pain to get self-pollinated? When in nature, bisexual flowers are there, why don't they go with inbreeding? Why are they doing self-pollination? What are the advantages the plants will get with such type of cross-pollination? We will see now. What is flower? Is it a vegetative organ or reproductive organ? Reproductive organ. So again, which type of reproductive organ is a flower? It's a sexual reproductive organ. So let us talk about the advantages of cross-pollination. Advantages of cross-pollination. So we were telling that there are many plants which will not allow the self-pollen to make a pollen tube. So it will become sterile, self-sterility. Now if the self-pollen cannot germinate, that means it is depending on cross-pollination only. So because of cross-pollination, those plants are getting pollinated. So the first advantage is self-sterility plants. Self-sterility plants can be fertilized. They can be fertilized only by cross-pollination, isn't it? They can be fertilized only by cross-pollination. If cross-pollination is not there, then they can't produce the next generation. That is one advantage. Now the second one is, it is sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction will give recombinations, will give variations. So cross-pollination leads to recombinations. It leads to recombinations and variations because two different plants are involved. Then if recombinations and variations are there, then they are better adaptable. So they show, cross-pollinated plants show better adaptations. They can survive under harsh conditions also. Then since recombinations and variations are there, so there is possibility of getting new varieties. So new varieties are obtained. Another advantage. And the next one, the yield will never go below the average. Since it is a hybrid, the yield will be always higher than that. So the yield will never go below average since it is a hybrid. This is another advantage. Now, and what else we can tell? Disease resistance characters can be increased because it's a recombinant. Disease resistant characters are increased and recessive genes can be eliminated. Recessive or toxic genes can be eliminated. So children, all these are the advantages of cross-pollination. What are the advantages of cross-pollination? Self-sterility plants can get fertilized only with cross-pollination. Cross-pollination leads to recombinations and variations. Thus, it helps in production of new varieties. Then, yield will be high because they are hybrids. Disease resistance character can be increased. Recessive or toxic genes can be eliminated. So, the disadvantages if you ask for cross-pollination, pollen grain number should be large because they are traveling. That is one disadvantage. Another disadvantage is we need agents for pollination. And the third disadvantage is it's a hit or miss affair. Since it is traveling, it might go and fall or it might miss also. So coming to disadvantages. One disadvantage is number of pollen grains should be huge. The second one is requiring a pollinating agent. It requires a pollinating agent. This is the second drawback. And the third one, it is a chance factor. Pollination will happen or will not happen. It's a chance factor. So that's it with the today's session. We discussed outbreeding devices, the advantages and disadvantages of cross-pollination. Now in the next lecture, we'll talk about pollen-pistil interactions. Hope the content is informative. If it is, like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.